Stefan.
Good to see you.
Hi. How are you?
I've got a bonus pick of you, Josh.
Uh-oh.
So I loved Angry Birds 2, loved it. Right?
It's pretty funny, isn't it?
And I broke the worldwide embargo by accident on Twitter. I tweeted about how good it was and realised that no one else had mentioned it in the world. And I thought, I'm going to get blacklisted by Sony here. This is going to be the worst thing that's happened. And I went on to delete it and you retweeted it. So it was too late.
But that's good, right?
No, I'm just joking. Yeah. I'm just joking.
I've got a bone to pick with you. You got me 50 followers.
55, not that I counted. Yeah. Right, I'm going to begin, guys. I mean, just wondering about when you first had the idea for sort of a Frozen 2, did you, such is the sort of trust and faith you have in a studio like Disney, do you just sort of say yes off the bat, or do you still need to read the screenplay and just make sure that it's going to be as good as it is before sort of signing up to the project?
Can it be both? You know, I think that there was a level of skepticism because in the first film there was no anticipation. We didn't have, any expectations. And in the second film, for any franchise that where the first film was such a juggernaut, you have that sense of nervous anxiety about can we match or, dare I say, top the original. And all of that was answered immediately by the brilliant vision of Chris Buck, Jennifer Lee, and our amazing composers who not only took on the challenge of doing a sequel to an iconic film, but doing a sequel to an iconic musical, which is, in my estimation, the first time that that's ever been attempted in Disney, where they were, willing to tackle new songs and willing to do a theatrical release to a movie that I think was kind of unexpected. And they did it without breaking a sweat. And so it made our process so wonderfully easy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I've seen a sort of iconic musical with a sequel. There's no Sound of Music 2.
No.
Good point.
Grease 2 is the closest, and let's just say it didn't work out that well.
Funny Lady.
So
Do you see Funny Lady?
No.
Funny Lady. Funny Lady. The sequel to Funny Girl.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Are there any good songs?
There are.
Really?
The movie doesn't work, but it's...
Was it a stage play too?
No.
Oh.
I mean, the first one. Were you? I mean, as good as the first was, were you still surprised at how much it sort of because it really tapped in? It's a cultural phenomenon, Frozen. I mean, it became huge. I mean, as good as it was, and as proud as you were of your work, was it still quite surprising to you just how big the film sort of got when it came out?
Completely shocking. I don't think any of us that worked on it ever anticipated that it was going to be such a worldwide phenomenon. It was a complete shock. I
mean, Olaf in this is some of his lines. He's becoming one of the, no offense, but one of the great kind of Disney kind of characters.
Oh,
who's Samantha?
This is literally improv in the booth. I just randomly, the script said that that Olaf is frantically looking for Anna and Elsa, and just out of nowhere, I think to make the directors laugh, I just started calling out random names. I think there was one that was Michelle. It was just random. But what I know at this point is the more insane I go in the booth, the more I challenge them to spend millions of dollars animating that insanity. And I learned the lesson on the first Frozen when I did the whole, oh look, I've been impaled. That was a joke that I never expected to make the movie, and then suddenly I see that animators spent just months animating something going through Olaf and him being impaled, and I'm like, I can get away with murder. I'm gonna keep going down this path.
Because when I was watching, I mean, Olaf got loads of laughs, and because I go to a press screening, so it was just full of adults, and everyone was just laughing, and you could tell at the end people had been crying. I'm just wondering about your own relationship with kind of movies of this now as you got older. I mean, and what the sort of appreciation you have for films like this when we're our age, because I guess these films we always just there's a misconception there for kids, but they're really not, are they? I mean, these films tick so many boxes for any audience member.
I think that you're right. I think about that too when we were at the screening last week in LA. Thinking about how Frozen wouldn't work without Olaf, because Olaf in a lot of ways is there as sort of like a childlike figure, and so there's like that innocence there, but he's also kind of commenting on the movie at the same time. So it's this very unique character in that he's a weigh-in for all the kids and equally at the same time a weigh-in for all of the adults as well.
And do you reckon he would, but either of your characters would watch Mindhunter? Do you think they'd be fans of it?
I think Olaf would probably learn a lot about life in one sitting were he to sit through an episode of Mindhunter.
Totally.
But then I think he would be eager to binge watch it. And then he'd be a much more mature Olaf.
He'd have a lot of new questions.
Yeah.
After Mindhunter, that's for
Frozen
sure.
3, directed by David Finch, would be quite a dark.
Definitely.
Let's reach out.
Yeah.
You have a connection. You have his number?
I'll pitch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much for your time. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks. Cheers.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey!